So we have already studied about variables. Now let's move on to operators. We have already learned about the first operator, that is assignment operator. So assignment operator is nothing but the equal to sign, wherein we assign a value to a variable. For example, say stock 1 is equal to ITC. Here the equal to sign, which is this, is the assignment operator. So it is assigning the value from right hand side to the left hand side, that is the variable. Right? There's another operator called within the assignment operator category, that is known as walrus operator. It is used when we are doing something like this. Here I am assigning the variable also, and I'm printing it also simultaneously. So what happens in case of walrus is, for example, if I want to print say stock 3 and I do an assignment here, say uh, Wipro, it will give an error. It will say that stock 3 is an invalid argument. It is invalid keyword for print function. So instead, I will use the walrus operator, which is nothing but a colon and equal to. And so the assignment is also happening, and within the print function it is happening, right? So let's move on to the second type of operators, which are our arithmetic operators, which are nothing but our plus, minus, multiply, and divide. So let's see, look at some examples. Let's take an input from the user and let typecast it as integer. So enter the first number and let's assign another variable num2, and that is the second number which we are asking the user to input, and we print the result of their sum. So sum is num1 plus num2, difference is num1 minus num2, and multiple is num1 multiplied by num2, and div is num1 divided by num2. Let's print sum diff multiple and division. The sum is highlighted here, so let's do it sum 1 because we don't want to use a restricted keyword. So let's use the first number as 30, second number is 20. So the sum is 50, the difference is 10, the multiple is 600, and the division is 1.5. So these are our arithmetic operators. Now let's move on to the important ones, which are known as conditional operators. They are also known as relational operators. Now, which are the conditional operators and relational operators? They are basically to check the equality, or greater than, or less than, or not equal to, which is not used like this in case of Python. Rather, we use exclamation mark and equal to. So, uh, let's use a number. Say this is 5 and num4. This is 10. So we have assigned two variables. Num3 has been assigned a value 5, num4 has been assigned a value 10. Now let's check this. So what happens in the case of conditional operators? They always, the result in case of conditional operators is always Boolean, Boolean value, that is true or false. So for example, if I print num3 is equal to num4, it says it is false. So 5 is not equal to 10, that's why it is false. So if I check this, that it is not equal to 5 is not equal to 10, it will give me a value true, right? And let's see if num3 is greater than num4, it will give me a false output because 5 is not greater than 10 and 5 is less than 10, that is num3 is less than num4, and that's true. So these are our conditional operators where we are putting in a condition. We are going through very simple stuff. We'll be using our code, the final code, the production code. There will be lots of loops, lot of conditions like if, and loops like for and while. Lot of stuff will be used. These are some basic things which I'm just giving you a flavor of. It is just a basic introduction. So the next one are the logical operators. So they are basically three, or, and, and not. So let's take an example. Again, we are using the same values, num3 and num4, right? So I'm using a if condition here. If condition we'll work on later, but let's use it uh, like a normal if condition, right? If num3 is greater than 0 and num4 is greater than 0, print both the numbers are greater than 0. Let's assign another condition. If num3 is greater than 10, or num4 is greater than 10, sorry, num3 is greater than 5, or num4 is greater than 5. See, there's an indentation happening here. This is the beauty of the code. Either one of the numbers is greater than 5, right? If num3, if not num3 is greater than 0, print the number is less than 5. So in the first condition, it's an AND condition. So here the first one is num3 is greater than 0. So that is true. And num4 is greater than 0. That is also true. So when true and true, when both the conditions are true, what happens in case of AND? So what happens in case of AND is it will always give true if both the conditions are true. Even if one condition is not met, then it will give a false result, right? Let's look at this once more. In the case of num3 is greater than 5 or num4 is greater than 5. So what is happening here is when num3 is greater than 5, this is not being met. This is a false condition. And here This condition is being met. So still the code is getting executed. So what is happening here? Either of the situation is happening. So it will result in true if any of the conditions are met. I'll explain this again. Just hold on. So if not num3 is greater than 0, so it is the opposite of it, vice versa. So is num3 greater than 0? Yes. What is opposite of it? Num3 less than 0? So that is not true, hence no output has happened. So if I convert this into this part, the result will be there. So this is nothing but vice versa. So I'll again explain this in this way. So let us assume that there is a variable called a1 which is true and a2 which is false. Now let's see a1 and a2, print a1 or a2 and print not a1, print not a2. What do you think will be the output? So in the first case, a1 is true and a2 is false. So let me just write this, true and false, right? I'm just comparing the values. So whenever and is used, it will only give true as an output if both the conditions are true. If even one of them is false, we'll always get the false as the answer. We'll check that. So here the output will be false. Out here, true or false. What happens in case of OR condition? If any one of the conditions are being met, that is, if any one of the conditions is true, then the output will be true. Here, this is vice versa. So A1 was true, so the output will be false. And here, A2 was false, so the vice versa of that is output is true. Let's check that. So false, true, false, true. That's our output. So these are our logical operators. So what we have done, we have studied about operators here. We have studied three categories of operators. We have studied about assignment operators. Walrus operator is a kind of assignment operator. Then we studied about arithmetic operators, which are plus, minus, divide, and multiply. So there are four categories rather, which we have studied. Then we have talked about conditional operators and logical operators. Both are no, same. Sorry, conditional operators and relational operators, both are same. So that is equality to check the equality or greater than or less than or not equal to. And then we studied about the logical operators, which are and, or, and not.